Hi family, I'm Dr. Brenda Woburiasti. I'm a licensed daycare provider, a published author of 3 children's books, an advocate, a consultant, a veteran's wife, and a mother. If you need help setting up your daycare service or just looking for great ideas to incorporate a play-based learning approach as well as learn about research-based solutions to issues impacting education, this is the channel for you. Subscribe, share, like. Thank you.
Yeah, so Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I'm trying to get it where, there we go. So this book here, we have in physical, and the reason why it's only in the physical paperback is because obviously we want to make sure that you spend time coloring. Yeah, it's a coloring book. It allows you to be able to spend time coloring, learning some definitions, being able to color in on some of the designs over here. Now, obviously, you see some of the definitions at the bottom. And again, because we're talking about a very detailed and complex process, although some of these definitions, like again, the definition of Bitcoin looks very, very long in comparison to peer-to-peer or some of these other definitions such as digital and network and things like that, because again, we're talking about a very new concept. So we have, again, fill in the matching sections and things like that. So the book is just really an opportunity for anybody to just really dive in and understand the complex journey of what's called Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But this book allows you to really take the time to dive in and understand how the book works. So right now, like I said, it's only in the physical format. You can get it on Amazon exclusively right now, just because I haven't really connected the book to my personal work website. But right now, just Amazon is where you can locate the book, and it's through my company, Our Project Experience. But it's only in physical format, primarily because, again, the concept was spending time touching something tangible. I know we live in a world where everything's digital, and we're talking about digital currency, right? But still taking that time and touching something tangible and allowing you to spend that time to focus and really color and spend that time to dive in and take in the information. You're going to be very upset with me because right now I am using none. I think all I did was maybe one Instagram post or IG post. I haven't really publicized the book at all. That is a detriment on me because that wasn't, I won't say I guess, I know and understand that although I want to spread the word, I have a complexity of doing the work to put it out there. I have to work on that, and it's something that I just really just have to work on. But like I said, it's really something that I haven't done much marketing at all. My friends are like, "What are you doing?" My wife is saying, "What are you doing?" And I created for my kids in my orbit, and although it's good to keep things within the orbit, I also understand that your orbit expands as you out there and promote and communicate the things that you know that are going to be of value. So this interview now has really opened up my eyes to recognize that I need to take the time, sit down and work on a marketing strategy where I can really put this information out there, especially, talking to you and you recognizing and saying, yeah, I don't know nothing about it. So that really opens up an opportunity where I really do need to take the time to market and really promote and put the word out there that there's a coloring activity book that can allow you to understand and learn more about Bitcoin, especially this year. And I'll drop this one particular gem. So one of the things about Bitcoin is that it's a deflationary asset. And what that basically means is that with inflation, one of the reasons why we have inflation is because of the fact that the dollar is not backed by anything. In 1971, President Richard Nixon removed the dollar from being backed. It was called the gold standard. Our current dollars are just pieces of paper. There's no value behind it. And that causes inflation, which is why the price of gas continues increasing, the price of food. And I mean, granted, COVID did fast track a lot of this because of the fact of the supply chain, logistics, and things like that. But realistically, inflation happens because of the way our monetary financial system works. Bitcoin has a deflationary system in there, which is called halving, which basically means with the law of supply and demand, the more supply that you have, the less your demand is, right? When you start cutting your supply, your demand increases. That's what's happening right now. Well, this year. So every 4 years, the supply of Bitcoin gets cut in half. So the current supply, I forget what the numbers are right now because I haven't gone and done a current update on what the current supply is. But whatever the supply is for the miners to go in and mine Bitcoin is going to get cut in half. So with that being said, as the supply gets cut in half, that means the demand is going to increase. With the demand increases, that's going to draw the value of Bitcoin up. And if you look at the historical timeline of Bitcoin, a few months after every halving. So the halving is supposed to happen in April of this year. That's an approximation. There isn't a date yet. I haven't read any updates on seeing when the actual date is supposed to happen for the halvings. So the developers, they're all the people that are behind it. They're the ones that have to ultimately, I guess, have a consensus on when the halving's when it's going to take place. But a few months after the halving happens, normally the price drives up. So with that being said, with the current price, I think right now, I think there was maybe about a 10% decrease from when I last looked at the pricing of Bitcoin. It's somewhere around 41,000, right? So you don't, and that's the other thing people have a misconception is understanding is that people feel that you got to put in 41,000 to get one Bitcoin. No, it's getting fractions or what's called Satoshis. You get those fractions and you accumulate them. Dollar cost average, which is simply putting the same amount with whatever frequency or cadence that you want to have. If it's once a week, once a month, whatever the case may be. But if it's 40,000 today, as we speak, and it's January 13, 2024, and by August, it jumps up to 80,000. And if you were to take $100 and put it in today, and by August, it jumps up to 80,000. Your $100 turns into $200. You doubled in value. And so that's one of the concepts that I had to break down to my kids to get them to understand. This is why I'm so passionate about it, is because of the fact that I know there's a halving taking place right now. And those that know, they know. Those that don't are just going to sit back and say, wow, I wish I would have known. And I'm trying to remove that layer of I wish I would have known. I don't talk about having into the coloring book just because, again, there's just a lot of information when it comes to just understanding the core foundations of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But what I will say is that one of the things that I do talk about is having a good, firm foundation, which is going to allow you to do your further research and then allow yourself to at least understand some of these things that people are talking about when you start doing your own research into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I do have future plans on writing more books. Again, my best friend Matt, he's really been pushing me to write more books, and I give so much gratitude that I have an orbit that is so supportive. So I got to give gratitude to him. He's been just maybe about right before the end of the year. He was like, "Man, just write an ebook. It doesn't even have to be long." He's just really been pushing me. I have plans. I have one in concept right now. I have some notes on my phone that I've been taking, that I've been working on. It's geared for children. It's more on the process of project management because I love everything that we do as a project, right? I think we get into this mindset of thinking that, oh, project managers, project directors, program managers, all those people, it's a specialized skill set. No, not really. If you ever planned a party, if you've ever went from one destination to the next, that's project management because you have to plan out how you're going to get to point A to point B. So we're all project managers. It's really more so of understanding and harness that inner project manager in you. The concept of this book here is revolved around that. Like I said, it's in concept. I don't know if I won't say I don't know. I haven't solidified yet whether or not I'm going to push that concept. I have a couple of few things in mind that I'm planning on working on. So I do have in mind of some books that I would like to put out there into fruition. Just haven't necessarily nailed down on if that's something that I want to further do in the future. But I do have, like I said, the one concept with it's geared around a young man and his group of friends, and him being the project manager of his club. And with him being the project manager, everyone's kind of going to him as the go-to with getting things done. And that's actually kind of geared around me. And the reason why that is because my friends and I, we normally do what's called a guy's trip or a male trip. And normally I'm the one that's planning it. And so I'm the one that's determining where we're going, or at least I put out a consensus and ask, do we have an idea where we want to go? And so I go through my project management process. I go through the initiation phase, the planning phase, the monitor executing phase, monitor control, and then we close it out. Because whether or not it's a guy's trip or me planning a trip with my family or working on a project, it's still that same concept. So the concept was built around me because I was like, I felt that I was always the person that was creating these or curating these events with my friends. And so I thought about that and used it instead of going on guys trips. It was more so doing things what kids do, whether it's building a tree house or going to the park or whatever the case may be. Like it's in the conceptual form, but that may be likely be the next project that I put out that's on the platform for children. My favorite part of being an author would be where I just have an opportunity to take something from up here and put it in here. A lot of times we say we want to do a lot of things and we don't necessarily either have the drive, the support, the resources, or whatever it is, whatever challenge may come along the way from you getting it done. And I know some people can say that, I just love creating outlines and stories. For me, I love just having a result. That's always my biggest thing, is that I just want to have something that is final that I can say that it's done. So my favorite part of being an author is just being able to create something that, whether it's tangible or digital, just being able to have something to say that I went back and I did that. I was the one that curated that idea, that concept, and brought it into light. And once you do that, no one can ever take it away. And that's one of the things that I realized, is that once we put something on this historical dimension that we're on, it's there. I can go back and say, yes, July 10th of 2022 is when this book was released to the world. And that can never be erased because it happened. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about being an author, is being able to go in and take something from your mind and make it available to everyone else that wants to have access to your mind. The advice that I give any author, aspiring author, is get it done. Just get it done. Like, honestly, we have so many reasons on why we cannot do things. We make excuses. I've made excuses in the past. Oh, I just made an excuse on why I haven't had the one project that's been in concept for so long. But what I realized is, once you get one done, it just opens up so much doors and gives you so much drive and gives you so much motivation to continue on and pressing forward to doing whatever else that you wanted to do. And just surrounding yourself around really supportive people. I mentioned my wife, I mentioned my best friend, I mentioned my children. They are all a part of my orbit. And my kids, when they look at my book and said, my dad did that. And that's inspiring. That's encouraging, because you have someone that not only looks up to you, but also takes in some of the things that you give. One of the things I've always appreciated is my daughter. I forget how many years ago it was, but I remember her saying that I love you because you're a genius. And I said, really? And even just me questioning that was a lot of the doubt that I put into myself. But I have a young human being that considers me a genius. So surrounding yourself by people that are very supportive and having an orbit that's going to allow you to be yourself, and being true to yourself is any suggestion that I definitely would give to any inspiring author that's out there. But you just got to get the work done. Even if you don't have that unit, it's great to have it. But if you don't, encourage yourself. Above all else, if there isn't anybody out there that loves you, that cares about you, if you love yourself, there's no doubts that you can do anything that you inspire. So it starts with self. Encourage yourself, motivate yourself, and know that you can get anything done by just doing it. Final thought. My final thought is, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to just share my story from every aspect of my life, from my travels to my development of cash flows and this wonderful book that I created, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Thank you for that opportunity. I appreciate the platform. And I also want to say that my final thought is understanding that whoever you are, wherever you are, love yourself. Take the time to just look into yourself, dive deep into being able to look into your heart and design a life that's created for you. I know there may be some challenges along the way. I know there may be some obstacles along the way. I know that we're littered with so much trauma, but we're not bound to those traumas. We're not bound to past issues that we've had. We're not bound to childhood issues that created blocks. Understand that everything starts new. This is a new day. This is a new opportunity. This is an opportunity where you can sit and say that I will create whatever it is that I want, whatever it is I desire, whatever that I destine for myself. Take that opportunity to look into self and say that you will do whatever it is that you want to, and understand that you have no limits. You are amazing. You're abundant. You're great. And you exude joy wherever you are.